You are power. You are powerful. You are powerful beyond your measure. Actually, you don't even know what power is, what true power is. And that's why you are afraid, because you know that deep inside of you there is immense power hidden that you haven't been tapping into and you haven't been using it, because you know that the one using this power has to be a well-balanced person, because otherwise this power could be used in a wrong way. If you're not a grown-up, that's what I say. If you're not grown up in your being, not physically but mentally, spiritually, if you're not grown up, this power can lead you into things that you don't wanna go. And that's why you've been afraid until now, because you know to handle such power that you have hidden inside of you actually requires to be mentally and spiritually grown up. And you haven't felt that, growing up. And that's why you've been pulling back on your power, on your powerful decisions, on your powerful speeches, on your powerful positions in life. Because when you show your power, people know that they should fall in line or just say goodbye and live your life. And you completely know that. And you've been holding back for many reasons. These are just few of the reasons why. But the most important one why you've been holding back your power is because you know deep inside of you how powerful you are. And when you make a decision from that power, everybody knows it's the end of the line. Everybody knows that now it's time. And then they need to decide what they're gonna do. They really need to, search deep inside of them and think about, are they also grown up? And they know what you're saying, that you don't want to hurt them, that you don't want anything bad to them, but that it's time to make a change, that any way they want to do, and now they have the opportunity. And from your experience in your life, you found out that 95 or even 99% of the people would rather stay in their ego state than to admit. And even they don't need to admit, they just need to accept that it's also time for them to make a step forward, because with your power, you are a powerful leader. And at that point, people need to decide, will they join you or will they fall back into their patterns and take the mediocre life. That's how it is. There is no other explanation, but not even explanation. There is no other theory. Remember, you are so powerful that you are still at this point afraid of yourself, but now you're beginning to open up and show your power and say people fall in line, or I respect that you don't want what I offer. I respect completely. You don't need to fall in line. Nobody needs to fall in line. And the demands are not great, but they are the boundaries that should not be crossed. And if that bothers any of people around you, then they can decide what they will do. You know, will they stay in their own power and be an equal companion or an equal friend, or you know what I mean, to you? That's one option. And that is the best option, and there is not many people like that. Or they will adjust to you and walk on eggshells around you, which we know where it leads to. Eventually, you are not in their lives anymore, or at that moment, they will strike back, but not strike, but reply back in a way that they resist everything, and there is nothing wrong, and that you are saying to them something that is not true. They have these options. There are no other options. And that's how, when you're in your power, when you finally realize that the only life worth living is being in your power, that's how you can actually walk through life and accumulate people who will support you, who will turn on your fire and support your fire and grow it larger, and be proud that they know a person like you, that is honest, that is loving, that has all these emotions, that has all these, I don't know, things they do. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just hold ourselves back too much because we don't want to disrupt what we have built. But once we feel that we should disrupt, we should disrupt. We should test where we are, if the people will stay or not, and learn something from it and go to the next chapter. Because the soul knows, you know, your soul knows when it's time to test, when it's time to check. And it's not because you would be a bad person. Of course not. It's because you are honest, sincere, because you wish the best for you and for people around you. And because you're on the growing path. Your life is a growing path, not waiting path in order to wait to die. It's a growing path that leads you all the way to your final moment, and that's when you stop growing. Otherwise, you're growing all the time, especially if you haven't been growing up to an old age, which I would say it's 70 plus in Europe. You got all the growing that you didn't do to do at that point, or you will always be in a bad mood, always, and you will be a cranky old person. So when you feel that you want to use your power and you decide to use your power in a good way, in a positive way, in a way of supporting your and other people's growth, use it. If you're in a bad mood and you would like to use that power to hurt people, don't. Rather say at that point, it's not time for me to discuss with you or whatever. Calm down and do it later. Because that's also what we powerful people we need to learn, is to temperate our power. And that's a huge learning I'm doing as well throughout this life, is how to temper that and how not to adjust too much to people and then, you know, you let it out all at once. So remember, you are extremely powerful. You know how to handle it, so handle it properly. Handle it properly, because it will support your growth or your demise. Okay? So we all decided now to use the power for our growth. So let's go on and let's have a nice day. It's 5 in the morning and we are in touch.